The power of temporary withdrawal. Sometimes, stepping away from the noise of life is necessary for growth, clarity, and self-discovery, overcoming the stigma of silence. Society often misinterprets absence as failure, but real transformation happens in solitude. The journey of self-reinvention, how disappearing from the world can lead to a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. The challenges of being away, facing self-doubt, fear, and the pressure of expectations while on a journey of solitude. Re-emerging with a new perspective, returning after time away with fresh wisdom, purpose, and a renewed sense of direction. Proving the power of your comeback. The most powerful success stories often come from those who disappeared, worked in silence, and returned stronger than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you must disappear, not because you are lost, not because you have failed, but because something deep within you is calling for silence, for solitude, for space to rebuild. The world may not understand. They may question your absence, assume your downfall, and even write you off as a forgotten name. But remember this, those who disappear with purpose do not return the same. They come back as warriors, as visionaries, as forces unstoppable. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, the wind howling, the rain mercilessly pounding down on you. It is loud, chaotic, and relentless. You try to move forward, but every step feels like a battle. Now, picture yourself finding shelter, not running away, but seeking refuge to regain your strength. In that silence, you hear yourself think. You breathe. You recalibrate. You prepare for the moment you step back into the storm, not as someone struggling to survive, but as someone who knows exactly how to conquer it. I have seen countless stories of individuals who vanished from the public eye, only to return with such intensity that the world had no choice but to take notice. Some disappeared in pain, some in failure, some in exhaustion, but every single one of them re-emerged transformed. Because when you take time away, not to escape, but to evolve, you gift yourself something invaluable: clarity. Society fears silence. It praises visibility, constant motion, and relentless output. If you're not posting, if you're not engaging, if you're not showing up, the world assumes you've stopped. But true power is not in being seen. It is in knowing when to step back, when to strategize, and when to prepare for your greatest return. Some of you in this room might be in that phase right now. You might feel disconnected, uncertain, lost in the depths of your own transformation. And maybe, just maybe, you're scared that the world will forget you while you're gone. But let me remind you, legends are not made in the spotlight. They are built in the shadows. Disappear, but with intention. Step back, but with purpose. And when you return, do so with a force so undeniable that the world will ask, "Where have you been?" And you will smile, knowing that you were exactly where you needed to be, building, learning, growing, and becoming. We retreat into silence. We pull away from the noise, the expectations, the constant demand to be present. And when that happens, people assume the worst. They whisper, "What happened to them?" They mistake absence for failure, withdrawal for weakness, and solitude for surrender. But let me tell you something. Some of the greatest transformations happen when no one is watching. There's power in disappearing, not because you are giving up, but because you are preparing for something greater. Sometimes, life demands that we step away, to reflect, to rebuild, to become who we were meant to be. And when we return, we do not come back the same. Think of the caterpillar. It does not transform into a butterfly in the open, under the constant gaze of the world. It disappears into the cocoon, into the quiet, into the unknown. It undergoes a process so deep, so painful, and so profound that when it emerges, it is unrecognizable. It has wings. It has strength. It has freedom. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you gave yourself permission to disappear? In a world that glorifies constant presence, productivity, and visibility, we are told that stepping away is dangerous. We are made to believe that if we are not showing up every day, if we are not constantly proving ourselves, we are falling behind. But let me remind you, some of the greatest minds, the most successful souls, the most legendary figures of history have all, at some point, disappeared. They stepped away from the noise. They went into solitude. They worked in silence while the world forgot about them. And then one day they returned stronger, wiser, more determined than ever. You see, when you disappear for the right reasons, you are not running away. You are not escaping. You are rebuilding. And the next time people see you, they will not recognize you. Not because you're lost, but because you have evolved. Some of you may be in that phase right now. You feel distant. You feel unseen. You feel as if the world has moved on without you. But let me tell you this. This season of solitude is not your downfall. It is your foundation. It is in silence that we find clarity. It is in darkness that we discover our light. It is in stillness that we hear the voice we've been ignoring for too long. The voice that tells us who we truly are and what we are truly capable of. So, do not fear disappearing. Do not fear stepping away to heal, to grow, to become. Because one day, when you are ready, you will return. And when you do, the world will ask, "Where have you been?" And you will smile because you will know you were exactly where you needed to be. The perception of disappearance. The speech begins by addressing how society views people who withdraw from the public eye. When someone disappears, whether from social media, professional circles, or social settings, people often assume the worst. They think it means failure, weakness, or giving up. But in reality, stepping away is sometimes the most powerful thing a person can do. The power of solitude. The speech then shifts to a compelling metaphor. The caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly. This comparison emphasizes that deep transformation does not happen under constant scrutiny. Just as a caterpillar goes into a cocoon to undergo a profound change, people often need solitude to evolve into something stronger, wiser, and more capable. Challenging the modern mindset. Today's world promotes nonstop activity. People are pressured to constantly be online, productive, and engaged. The speech challenges this idea by pointing out that some of history's greatest figures, scientists, writers, leaders, disappeared for a time before making their greatest contributions. It argues that absence does not mean failure. Instead, it often signals a preparation for something bigger, encouragement to embrace the process. The speech reassures those who may currently feel lost, isolated, or forgotten. It emphasizes that solitude is not a sign of decline, but a stage of personal development. The message is clear. Do not fear disappearing if it means finding yourself again. The grand return. The speech ends with a promise. When you return from this period of transformation, you will not be the same. People will notice the difference. You will have grown. You will have gained clarity. And when the world asks, "Where have you been?" the answer will be simple. You were exactly where you needed to be. Thank you and good luck.